What's up? What's up? What's up? Hope everybody's amazing, man. I'm just gonna set up here for a minute. This is a test run, so we're gonna make a little 40-minute live out of it. I just want to see if it's clear. I had some people come and work on my internet, set up a new modem. We're testing it out to see how it goes. Let me know if you guys can see and hear me clearly. Y'all ready to have a good build? Can y'all see and hear me clearly? I got some things worked out on my internet, family, so we're going to test it out today and see how that works. We're going to have a dope little build. The main thought is going to be tribe or family. Which one of you think is more harmonic for you and your tribe going forward, okay? I don't want to say it's there's such thing as right and wrong when it comes to this concept, but it's more about the lines of how you want your family to look, right? What you think would be the best chances for survival, I should say, or abundance, I should say. Rise, 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 everybody. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. Loud and clear. Okay, good, good, good. All right, family. So look, it's a lot going on. I know you guys are seeing everything that's going on. So I'm not going to spend this video talking about the Cheesecake Factory and all that type of stuff. It's a lot coming, family. It's a lot coming, but I just want to just let you guys know it's a lot coming. So stay tuned. All right. I got some dates set up for them. I've already started some of the dates. They're already recorded. I'm just in the process of the editing and getting everything down so I can load it up to you guys so you guys can see how that first date went. All right. He had his first date on Sunday. All right, family. So it was something. All right. You ain't going to believe it, man. It's wild. It exposes a lot, man. It exposes a lot. So anyway, you guys, for you guys that don't know, I had the privilege of hosting the Cheesecake Factory couple on my new show called From the Source's Mouth. Okay. So I got with them, and you know that title is it's just fire. You know, I just came up with that title. So that's gonna be the name of the show, okay? But anyway, so I had the honor and the privilege of interviewing them, and Jay asked me to be his life coach, okay, his counselor. Coach him up, teach him how to spot the red flag so he can find him a good woman, okay? So that's what we're doing, and I'm actually documenting and recording that whole thing. I hired a whole film crew to come in and document this for me. I think it's a lot of information that could be useful to men and women out there to help them find a partner. Okay, so just stay tuned, family. The first episode or the first snippet or clip from that documentary we'll post this week, and we're just gonna keep them coming as soon as we can get them edited out. But we're working hard, family. All right, this is the first time for me, so just be patient with me, but stay tuned. Okay, say like the title. That's dope. Thank you, Michael. All right, so listen, family. Today's topic, it all stemmed from this video I saw online where a man was saying that he put his wife first before his children. And then he says something that makes it sound as if like, even if he meets another woman, he doesn't care if those children like that woman. He doesn't care if his family likes her. And I heard what he was saying. And I feel like to most women, probably all women, y'all let me know when y'all hear this, ladies. I think it sounds very good in theory. But I want to challenge a little bit of it. And I want you guys to kind of think with me. Ladies, you too. Okay. And we're going to work through this. Okay. Because the moral of it is that you create a healthy, harmonic family. And what's the meaning of a family? What's the purpose of a tribe? So we're going to look at it from a family lens and a tribal lens. Before we get started, I want you guys to do me a favor. Type in the comments what you think of when you hear the word family. What's the first thought comes to your mind? For example, I think a mother and father and child or children, home, probably a pet, a career, right? The way that process of a family works, you think the mother and father raise the child up until they are grown, adult, right? Till they're old enough to move out. Then that person moves out and starts their own family, recreates the same thing, moves off to their own neighborhood, their own city, whatever, after they find their person, right? Now, I want you guys to type in what you think of. Now let's read your thoughts first. Husband and wife, a family is a home. Okay. Togetherness. Okay, Simone. We get some comments. Love between you and others like you. Okay. Your consort and offsprings. Okay, Blue Moons. Okay, so while you guys are typing that, for those of you who've already typed, please type this as fast as you can. What do you think of when you think of tribe? When I say the word tribe, what do you think of? Okay, when you hear that word. Example, do you think of just a mother and father? Do you see a whole bunch of people, a whole bunch of families joined together, working in unison with one common goal so that they all can survive and all parties must contribute to that survival, right? When you think about a tribe, what do you think about? Someone says unity. I don't know if you're talking about family or tribe. Maybe I asked those questions too close together. Whole family, same thing as family togetherness. Okay. All right. Well, you guys keep putting that in the comments. And an extended family, absolutely. A tribe is many extended families all coming together to be cohesive and survive together, right? And they don't move apart like you do in a family. In a family, you move off to your own neighborhood, to your own city, to your own cul-de-sac, to your own street, town, whatever you're going to do, right? With a tribe, you all live on the same land, and all of you are working together to cultivate that same land. Whether it means planting on that land, fishing on that land, hunting on that land, the aim is to enlarge the territory of that land so that your survival becomes greater, right? You want to enhance your chances of survival, and all of you are working together to do that. And enlarging your territory becomes one of the main priorities, right? Because the larger your territory, the more animals you can hunt, the more fishing grounds likely, the more access to water, the more access to shelter, to land, to plant off of, to cultivate, right? A tribe does not separate, they stick together. Now, a family, you raise your child up so they can move out and start their own family, but that often means they go to a land that you don't own, that you don't control in any way, right? So I'm just putting that out there. I want you guys to think about this because I think we look at the world through the lens of simply family, and there's more. I'm here to tell you guys that some things have been stripped from us, and in doing so, the concepts have been stripped from us, right? The understanding has. So a lot of what we're thinking is coming from a very small understanding, family. We're thinking that we understand the universe from an anthill, right? From an ant mound. And there's so much more to it. So I think we should put into thought what's better for the family altogether. So I'm going to play a video real quick. All right. I'm going to play a video, and then we're going to talk about this video as it plays. And then I'll let you guys come up and talk with me as well. All right. Let's do this. I'll pop the link into the description. If you're not on YouTube, you won't be able to come up. Well, you could do it anywhere. If you see the link, you should be able to do it and pop up here from your Safari or whatever. So you should be fine. All right, family. So I'm going to bring this video up. I'm going to change my screen a bit so we can see it. Blah, blah. Let me know if you guys hear.
Will I respect them? Absolutely. Do I need them to like? Nothing comes before my wife. I don't play about my wife when it comes to nobody. Nobody. And I stand on that. There was a lot of people that got upset when I said the person that you're married to or the person that you're taking serious comes before everybody. I stand on that. My wife comes before my kids, right? To a certain extent. And what I mean is this: I am not going to put our relationship on hold or the things that make us happy on hold for them, because what's going to happen is they're going to grow the fuck up and have lives of their own. Will I respect them? Absolutely. Do I need them to like or love her? Absolutely not, because they're not dating her. The same thing with the parents, my mom, my dad, my grandma. If you don't like her, that's on you, but you do not come before her. I exchange bodily fluids with her. I split bills with them. I split my heart with them. Nothing comes before my partner. I'm not playing no games. And if you go against them for anybody, this is when you become now.
All right, first off, let me just say this. I commend this brother's level of commitment. I cannot stress how important commitment is. Ladies, that is... Okay, did you get that? And from your view, hang on, Jamie, from your view, do you see me on the camera, or is that thing in front of my face? But on here, it's moved. That is crazy. I definitely moved it on StreamYard. Yeah, but it's the same camera, so it's kind of weird. I thought that I might be able to move this camera around better and change my things around. Maybe I should have tried this. Mm-mm. So it did move it over there that time, but it moved it back. So I should have switched. Like that. Okay, so it's just backwards. Okay, so it looks a little different to me. But see, even now on StreamYard, it doesn't show me it shows me my face covered. But for you guys, I have to do that. Okay, I got you. So it just has to be backwards. It's just going to look a little weird. Look like I'm looking at the screen now. Hang on. That's what that's how I would look. I would still look this way, but it's over here. That's crazy. I'm just trying to get it set up. Okay. I want it to look right to them, like I'm really looking at, because even though I'm looking in front of me to see the video, I want to look like I'm looking at it, so they can feel like we there together, you know. All right. All right, so listen, guys, I'm gonna run it back, okay? Because if you had a thought, you probably lost it by now. Let's go back and let's review this again. Let's hear this again.
Nothing comes before my wife. I don't play about my wife when it comes to nobody. Nobody. And I stand on that. There was a lot of people that got upset when I said the person that you're married to or the person that you're taking serious comes before everybody. I stand on that. My wife comes before my kids, right? To a certain extent. And what I mean is this: I am not going to put our relationship on hold or the things that make us happy on hold for them, because what's going to happen is they're going to grow the fuck up and have lives of their own. Will I respect them? Absolutely. Do I need them to like or love her? Absolutely not, because they're not dating her. The same thing with the parents, my mom, my dad, my grandma. If you don't like her, that's on you, but you do not come before her. I exchange bodily fluids with her. I split bills with them. I split my heart with them. Nothing comes before my partner. I'm not playing no games. And if you go against them for anybody, this is when you become now.
Ooh. So he sounds very, very sure about what he is saying, right? I mean, you can hear it, okay? So what do you guys think of that? Okay, and I know it sounds good in theory, ladies, especially to you ladies, that he's going to put you before his children. My question to you is this: would you want a man that put you before his children? Now, let's just say he already has children with someone else. It didn't work out. He says he doesn't care if the children like her. He doesn't care. Now, and I know he's not saying this about their actual mother, because I mean, of course, they like their mother, right? They love their mother. So I think he's meaning this from the standpoint of a stepmother, right? So he's saying he doesn't care if the family likes her or the children like her. He sleeps with her. He exchanges body fluids with her, right? So would you want a man to put you first, ladies, if he already has children? Let me know in the comments, because I want you guys to consider something. Say it doesn't work out with you and that man that you have children with. When he leaves, that same man leaves you and he goes and gets with another woman. Now that woman becomes more important than his children. He doesn't care if they like him. Now does it sound so good? Because we know that relationships don't always last. So I think that the best way to do this is to focus on the children. They are your children regardless, because you made them. And you can't deny that fact. Biology does not lie, okay? That is your children. You created them. Now, if you created those children, we need to get a paternity test to make sure. But if we created those children, family, they are your number one priority. Now, before you have children, you can be each other's main priority. That is no problem. Now, the problem with that is, though, we don't always be together long enough to be each other's main priority. A lot of us are just knocking each other up, and we haven't known each other long. So we don't establish no foundation of being each other's priority. But I'm saying, if you're building a relationship based on a foundation of y'all building towards a family, and both of y'all know this, absolutely y'all can be each other's first priority. At least that's what it would look like. I don't think that's really ever the case. However, I think that's what it looks like. I just want, number one, I think we all should understand that a family is not about you. I think we should understand it's not your family. It's y'all family, right? So it's not only about you. So you're not going to be the priority when you set out to create a family, just like you're not going to be the priority when you go to have children. They are. The responsibility now is on you to take care of the children because you created them, and that's both of y'all created the child. That never stops. So if the focus stays solely on the children, as far as the number one priority, I'm not saying your spouse, husband, or wife won't be your top priority, right? There will be your top priority, a top priority, but your main priority that both of you guys should be focused on is that child. And that means you are focused on your child, your grandparents are focused on that child, everybody, the little ones, y'all. It takes a village, right? You're grown now, you're big now. I tell my children all the time, I tell my sons, if you get out here and start making babies, my attention going to them. I'm not giving you allowances and stuff like that, and you got kids out here. No, your responsibility now is to take care of your kids. And if you don't got the bread, I'm giving your allowance to your child. What you talking about, bro? Does that make sense? See here, Sarah says, real talk, especially if they are minor children. Absolutely. It goes to the children, man. The relationship with you and your spouse may not always work out, and your children would always be your children. And when you pass on, you want to leave your inheritance to your children. If you forsake them and focus most of your energy into your relationship, this is why our children grow up not caring about what we got going on. So we're filling our legacies, y'all. We're selling our birthright by focusing more on the relationship than the actual family you build. And as men, I know it sounds sweet and cozy to think like that. I love her. That's my wife, and I'm going to give her the world. It does not actually work like that. These are horrible quotes and ideas that have been put into our communities for a little while. It's like a saboteur coming here and giving us all these bad ideas that sound good in theory. But when you really look at it philosophically, it's a horrible way to look at things. Happy wife, happy life. That's another one, right? It should be happy house, happy spouse, right? Or happy spouse, happy house. Both people should work to be harmonic for each other so that both people can have happiness inside that relationship. It's not about one person's happiness, family. It's actually about survival. Would you say a tribe works together for happiness or survival? And would they put happiness above survival? Think about how often we in relationships, when we get upset with each other, we stop contributing. Women stop nurturing when they're angry. Men stop being there for their wives when they're that angry, right? They stop talking soft to them. They start treating them a little differently. So that contribution of love and harmony kind of stops. In a tribe, yo, you cannot afford that. If you stop nurturing him, he stops and goes, he stops hunting. That means neither one of you eat, family. In a tribe, you understand that you don't have a choice but to nurture. In a tribe, he understands he doesn't have a choice but to be the utility. In families, we quit on each other far too often. I'm going to get to the video because we're going to break some of these points down, okay? Let's continue on because I want you guys to understand where I'm coming from. I'm not trying to say put your wife on the back burner, put your husband on the back burner, but I'm saying when you guys have children, you're making a sacrifice to now be responsible for those children, meaning you're not the priority anymore. You're saying, I'm grown, I'm an adult, right? And so you would dedicate your life now to making sure those children are taken care of. Now that may look like you still becoming your best self in career and everything you need to be better for those children, but those children are your priority, family. But before I argue that point, let's continue. All right, first off, let me just say this. I commend this brother's level of commitment. I cannot stress how important commitment is. Ladies, that is a top attribute, a top quality that you should be looking for in men. However, I do want to point out a flaw in his philosophy, okay? While it is important that your spouse, your wife, or your husband is a top priority, once you have children, they become your main priority, okay? They are people that you created who are solely dependent on you for everything that they know and everything that they will be. Your spouse, your wife or husband is someone who is an adult, someone you are trying to make a relationship work with, have a future plan with, and all that is amazing. But don't you understand that that makes your children your top priority? I want you men to understand something. You guys are farmers and you are looking to plant a healthy garden for survival's sake. Now, this makes the ground very important as you want to choose good ground. Now take your spouse. She's going to be equal to the good ground, but the good ground is so you can plant your seeds into it and cultivate your family, your tribe, right? So imagine a farmer puts out his seeds. Is the ground the top priority or is his seeds the top priority? Now, the ground is a top priority. It's important that he makes sure the ground has nutrition, that he makes sure that he waters the ground, that he makes sure he does those necessary things to make sure that ground is ready for the seed. However, what does his focus and attention go to once those seeds are planted, family? To the plants, right? To the cultivation of the plants and the garden itself. So this says that your children are your future selves, right? So yeah, your children may one day grow up and move out, but that's not why you would put them second. Your children are going to grow up one day, move out, and further your family line. They will have your grandchildren, your grandchildren's children, from there forth, and they will all look like you and have principles and characteristics of you. This is your main focus. Now, we were brought up in a world where we don't really understand the inner workings of a village. However, we say it takes a village, but we don't. Now, before we go to the inner workings of a village, let's talk about that first thought I just said here, right? Men are farmers, okay? And you should be looking for good ground. Now, I'm not a religious person, but I do understand many religious books as I've read them, and a lot of them have some profound things. So a religious book I'm gonna read from today, not read from, but just speak from, it will be the Bible. And I know a lot of you guys are familiar with that book, okay? In it, it talks about a farmer, right? It's a concept of a farmer, a good farmer, and how they move. And it shows you in parallel to a bad farmer. So it speaks about this bad farmer saying that the bad farmer, they just throw their seed in the air, right? And let the wind carry it wherever it goes. And that seed falls on stony ground, thorny ground, or good ground. Now, if it falls on stony ground, it doesn't have anywhere to root, right? It doesn't have anywhere to root, to go underground so it can grow, right? Meaning that it will never, ever have any access to nutrients. Now, if it lands on thorny ground, that means that it'll often get choked out before it reaches its full potential, right? Now, so what you're looking for is good ground. Good ground means it's a safe environment for that seed to be able to grow, right? So it's saying a bad farmer does not think about that carefully. They just throw their seed wherever they can. Now, if we were to look at that and translate that to today's modern times, take that farmer now and equate that to a man carrying seeds, right? Now, we're not talking about typical seeds for vegetation. We're talking about his sperm cells, right? That's what we're talking about. So that's what we're calling his seeds. Okay, so if a man is frivolously throwing his seeds about, it can land on stony ground, thorny ground, or good ground. So let's say stony ground. Stony ground might be a woman who is not planning to have your baby at all. She's just having fun. And if she does have your baby, she's going to end it, meaning it will never take root. It'll never be able to grow inside of her. It's just a done deal. And many of us know there's some stony ground out here. We know that, right? So if you're looking for somewhere to plant your seed, you wouldn't try and plant your seed with somebody who doesn't want a child, who's not interested in being a mother, who's not interested in working with you long term and having a child with you, even if the relationship don't work out. Do you understand? So that's stony ground. What would be thorny ground, family? If you're a farmer, thorny ground would be a woman with bad mental concepts and bad traumas that she hadn't worked on. That means she'll choke your child up with her way of thinking. Do you understand? She'll end up pushing you away from the child when she's angry, believing that she has a right to do that, to judge you as a father. She'll turn your children against you. She'll weaponize everything that you do and use it as an excuse to destroy the family. I've seen these types of thorny ground leave their man because he works too much. His job is to be the utilitarian. And now he's punished for that fact. I've seen men get cheated on by thorny ground simply because he worked too much. Well, you was at work. I mean, ain't I supposed to be? Right? You don't need a man. I want you to be independent, so you don't need a man. These type of thoughts choke out your children, right? Sitting there in front of Love and Hip Hop, got your daughters twerking, got your sons out here throwing up gang signs with jewels on us all the way down to their thighs, right? Calling them little gangster and acting like they hard and giving them dap and stuff. You know what I mean? Really, really sitting here priming them for this world and the downfall, right? They'll choke out your children. They are not interested in knowing healthy measures of conflict resolution and things like that to help build your child, right? They'll choke them out, family. Project onto them instead of teach them. Beat them instead of discipline them, meaning teach them the right way. They'll just hit them. We've seen this. Or they just will not work with you, will absolutely be not work withable. right? You say go left, they tell your child to go right. You say, I don't want my child doing this. They say, absolutely, he can do that if he wants to. We all understand this, the stony ground that won't, I mean, the thorny ground that won't even let you father your own children. Do you understand? What's good ground though, family? Good ground is the ground that's been cultivated and is ready to plant in. Now, does a farmer just come across good ground? I want you guys to think about this, because we meet women a lot of times and we just want to go ahead and get to that act. But does good ground, do you just come about it, or do you have to work with it, cultivate it, irrigate it, do things to make sure that ground is good, right? Before you plant your seed, you have to vet it and you have to do the work to ensure that it's good ground. It might have some stones in it, but you got to pick them out. It might have some weeds in it. It might have some thorns in it, but you got to root them out. You have to go through and soften that ground. Now, do you not? If you're a farmer, you know you got to first ply up the ground. You can't just throw your seeds on top of the ground, family. And if you don't, though, the very grass or whatever you don't move will be in the way of those roots spreading. So it will choke out. So what is good ground, fellas? Do you just come across it, or do you make the ground soft by being masculine? Because a woman shouldn't just open herself up to you. It should take some time to soften her. She shouldn't just come right into it saying, oh, I already want you. You can already plant your seed in me. That's a red flag, family. That's an indication that it's stony ground or thorny ground. When it comes with you already saying, hey, yeah, you can, nobody wants that land. And that's why anybody can say, you can just take it. It's not good for the long haul. You start seeing ain't nobody moving on the land. People will walk over the land. They will travel through that land. I mean, sometimes that's a shortcut. Sometimes we're looking for that land, but nobody ever really sets up there because they know nothing grows there. You can only just walk through there. You understand? You can only just breeze through, if you know what I mean. So what I'm trying to tell you fellas is don't even go that way. Okay. Don't even walk down that road. Don't even take that path, because you might drop a seed along the way. And if you drop a seed along that way, the inevitable is there, right? So you're looking for good ground. In fact, you're looking to create the good ground. So you find you a woman, you vet her, you find out if there's stones in her mind, if she has things that could be thorns that could choke your child out. You challenge her ideas, you introduce your perspectives, and you see if you can weed out those bad thoughts, right? Those stones and those thorns, those weeds. And if you can, she's proven to now be good ground. If she lash out at you, get snappy, switch the subject, try to make you seem like the bad guy for challenging her opinion on things, when you know that they are counterproductive to a tribe, you should learn that's a red flag. She don't want to change. She doesn't care about looking into the future and developing a better way to live. She's just interested in living from within. This makes me happy, so I'm going to do it. That's just her mindset. That's a stony ground or thorny ground type of thinking, because they're not thinking about the consequences of their actions, right? And they'll be 45 down the road wondering why they never got the life and family they wanted. And then they're angry and they still not taking accountability. Do you understand? So you got to put it on yourself to not complain about it after you've planted your seeds in bad ground, stony ground, thorny ground. You got to take it upon yourself to just, before that happens, choose right, sir. Men are too feminine nowadays, making decisions, then complaining about them. That's not a righteous move. That's not how men move. Men calculate. We measure first. We don't just go doing stuff. Like, you don't just build your house and then step back and see if it's wobbly and see if it's straight. That's what we do. We think she's pretty. We project onto her that she's innocent. And then we just go into it trying to prove ourselves. Years down the road, we find out that house was shaky as hell. We didn't measure. We didn't measure. We didn't test it. We just thought it'd be beautiful. We ran with it. It looked beautiful. And because she's pretty, because she looks like all this to us, we imagine the rest, and that's feminine. Us not having men around, role models after us, has made us feminine in more ways than we realize. It ain't about you being tough. It's really about how much time you spend in here versus out here. We're supposed to be about action. So we're supposed to think before we move and be the most effective, because we got people depending on us, family. We don't live in emotions. We don't live in emotions, family. Don't get me wrong, emotions are good and they are of good use. They allow us to be empathetic, but men should think about the best outcome, even if it don't suit them. And that means that they may not be the most joyous after accomplishing it, right? Let's just say a man says, I want a great future. I want to have a lot in my old age, and I want to be able to leave an inheritance to my children. Does that look like living a life of fun? No. So if he wants that life, he knows he has to forsake that stuff. He knows he can't do as much of that as everybody else. He knows he'll have to have standards. And he still got to make that decision. He don't make no decision based on his happiness. That's ridiculous. Do you understand? Your emotions are not indication that what you're doing is right. You eat bad food, it tastes good. Have you ever noticed that bad food tastes good? Why? That should tell your brain something. Just because it tastes good, just because it feels good and feel right, don't mean it's right and good. You got to put thought into it to see if it's right and good. So take the men, you got to measure. Never stop measuring, never stop testing the dirt. Never stop, because you got to make sure it has the nutrients that your seed needs to be able to cultivate. Do you understand? So that's why I use the ground. Now, a lot of you ladies might say, I don't like you comparing me to the ground. Well, let's talk about that. I just want to say that because I don't want you ladies to be offended. Why would I compare you to the ground? You might say, Kevin, that's the dirt. You walk on the ground. That means the ground's the foundation, and a good woman is the foundation of a healthy family. You better believe it. She's the nucleus. The seeds don't ever leave the ground. Did you notice that? The mother always nurtures. The seeds live inside of her. They grow from within her, don't they? And they stay forever connected to her nurturing. Without her, those seeds, man, wow, they'd never make it. Do you understand? So why do I call her the ground? Because she receives nutrients from the sun. You are the sun, man. You are the resource, the gift that keeps on giving, that don't ask for anything in return. I ain't gonna hold you. Sleep is what strengthens us. Sleep, family. Until we depend on a woman, until we go find a good ground. Now we're dependent upon her nurturing. But if you ever notice, as a single man, you strong. You don't need confidence from nobody. You got it together. You know exactly what you want. You know where you're going. Have you ever noticed that as soon as you commit to a woman and make her your all, make her your one, now all of a sudden you do depend on her to encourage you. You do depend on her for nurturing you. And it's for real. It literally matters. What she thinks of you truly matters. Right? That shows that she is a nurturer from within. She can speak life into a man, and she can give life to a baby from within. This is why I say she is equal to the earth, right? I'm hoping that makes sense. And look, think about the sun. How do we embody the sun, family? As farmers, as people who plant the seed and give their nutrients to the seed as it grows from the outside in. That's what fathers do. We don't birth the seeds inside of us. We feed them with our utility, with our resources, and we guide them by being something that they can see that lives high, right? That sets itself high. That's the sun, right? You giving the sun, giving its energy to all the plant life, to all the earth, and it does it consistently. As a man, you can't stop. Now, if you go back to tribal days, you go back to nature, you know this is true because you get hungry, right? So you know that just because you came home with food yesterday, it don't mean you get to relax today, because even though you ate yesterday, hunger is still on the way, right? So you know you can never stop. In fact, if you stop, you die. We all know this. If we stop eating, we die. If we stop consuming, we die. So our life is forever. We're forever on the hamster's wheel. That's our slave, our bodies. I'm telling you now. That's why they say learn to master it. I'm hoping you guys are getting where I'm coming from. And tribes knew this. In order to survive, we got to have food. And it wasn't like grocery stores now. So if you're a tribe and you have to have food, then you got to plant that food. You got to find those watering holes so you can fish and get access to water, right? You got to find those trees and stuff so you can build and have shelter. You got to plant. These are things you have to do on a daily basis to make sure that you survive. Can you do that by yourself? You ever try planting a garden by yourself? You ever tried going out and hunting by yourself and carrying it back and skinning it by yourself? And enough time in the day. This is why you said there's a benefit to partnering up, right? And if you partner up, now you both have roles to play. And it should make sense. You shouldn't say, I'm going to get a wife and make her my main hunter because you have the most strength, sir. You have the most utility. You have the most stamina. And when she gets pregnant, you don't lose strength. So who should be the utilitarian? Who should be the hunter? I mean, women can be great hunters. Don't get me wrong. Many of them were better than men at hunting. They were experts at shooting bow and arrow, and they would win competitions. So women can hunt, but if you're teaming up with your wife to have a more abundant life, who should be the utilitarian? Being that you don't go through those seasons where you have periods and slow down and need more rest, right? When y'all having a child, you don't slow down, you don't get heavier, you don't lose anything. A baby takes a lot out of a woman. What do you lose whenever you impregnate a woman? Not a thing. She got to tell you that she's pregnant, right? So it would make sense that you are the utilitarian. It makes sense that she's the nurturer, right? So just like the earth, a woman carries that seed inside of her, right? Just like the sun, the man feeds the seed from the outside, right? That's why I use that concept. So consider that, family. Look for good women to deal with, to vet for marriage, for relationships. And I promise you, your children's lives will be better because a good woman often equals a good mother. But if you're just looking for something quick, the chances of you spilling your seed, man, is always there. So measure, take your time, right? Because in the end, you're going to be 35 or 40 without no income coming in because you got kids out here and your money is being usurped and garnished by the government, or you got license suspended. You can't create no opportunities for yourself because they've taken everything from you. And typically you're going to be going to jail after that because they'll make it almost impossible for you to survive. And now what we're going to do? Complain about it? What we should have been doing was teaching and being upstanding to our young boys so they can understand life ain't just about a nut. That's what's going to get us in trouble and ruin your life. And the government ain't going to tell you that. They're not going to tell you that. So you better be thinking, man. Let's continue, though. I want to build on this next point. Understand how it works. And so this is where this concept comes from. We say we want to give a woman the world. Sometimes we don't really understand in characteristics of you. This is your main focus. Now, we were brought up in a world where we don't really understand the inner workings of a village. However, we say it takes a village, but we don't understand how it works. And so this is where this concept comes from. We say we want to give a woman the world. Sometimes we even look at a woman and just based on how she looks, we'll say, oh, that's wifey material. That's wifey right there. I'll marry her today. This shows that we are a little bit distorted as to what it takes to build and create a healthy village. So now think about that, family. If you as a man is saying, you know, I want healthy children, right? I want my family to exceed my own, and I want my children to even go further than me. How the hell are they going to do that if you just make any old person their mother? Just ladies, if you want your children to go farther than you and your parents, break cycles that's going on in your family, do better than you. How the hell are you going to do that if you just let any old man plant a seed in you? Just think about it. So if you're chasing your own loins, if you are a slave to your body and you chasing just what feels good, you might end up sleeping with somebody who you haven't vetted because you want to feel good. And now what is it? Now you got a baby in your belly, right? And now that man is the father of your baby, regardless of what you want to do. And you can be mad and try to control that whole thing all you want to, but he's still the daddy. He still is. And even if you keep him away, that child still embodies his DNA. So you can't change it after it's done. And I try to tell fellas the same thing. You can't change it after it's done, man. Just stop giving anybody your seed because you want to feel good at the moment. Yeah, I see that butt over there. I see it jiggling too. But measure, okay? No, don't measure her butt. I know you like, measure her butt. It might be 52 inches. Right? Nah, bro. That ain't what I'm talking about. Think about your decisions before you make them. All right? Life ain't just about just doing what please you, man. Sometimes that big old thing, big booty jiggling right there is what's going to ruin your whole tribe. I'm telling you, y'all, I'm not joking. Y'all think I'm playing. I'm not. And I'm not saying women are bad, but I'm saying both could be bad. I'm saying you both got to vet. We know what's out here, y'all. And you know, to find somebody good, you're going to have to scour through. All right, you're going to have to go through it with a fine-tooth comb because too many people are out here in the program that are just using people and not really taking life seriously. So you can't just go out here and just get a wife. It ain't that easy. And you can't just go out here and just get a husband. It's not that easy. It's the thinking of them that fucks it up. You might see somebody that look good. It seems like they might be good for it. They might have a nice body, a nice everything. Everything might be good, but it's the damn software. It's the software, yo. And then you'll see why the programming has ruined us. So you better get through that software before you start, you know. I'm just saying, guys. That's why I say check the dirt. You got to check it to make sure it's got nutrients in it that your seeds can grow from. Don't just say it looks good. All right. Let's continue. Let me just say this. What do you guys think of when you hear the word family? Is it a husband, wife? I remember the point I was about to make. I paused it to say something and didn't say it at all. Thank you so much, Rick. Says I love the content. Somebody said I just started watching them already, peeping the wisdom. Thank you, Debonair. Thank you. But I'm gonna say this before I forget. I think I'm forgetting. Hang on, don't you dare run off. You don't you do that. Yeah, here we go. Fellas, listen now. Have you ever saw a woman and said, oh, that's wifey material. Oh, I'll marry that. Now just be honest. If you've never said it, you've heard it. Now just say this, put I've said it and heard it, or I've said it, haven't heard it, or I've heard it and hadn't said it. I know you heard it, so I already know you heard it. Most of y'all said it. Most of y'all have saw a woman that was so fine, you said, man, I'll marry her. What you thinking is, I could wake up next to her every day. Now, I know ladies was thinking, he just wanting to smash. Nope, he ain't thinking just wanting to smash. He's saying she's so beautiful, I could smash every day. Now, that's something different to a man. I'm telling you, and to him, he says, I'll marry her because he's saying I can wake up to her every single day. She's beautiful, right? Anubis says, I heard it, right? But you guys know that that's not a wise decision to make that just off of looks, right? That's like looking at a car saying, oh, that's gonna be a good car right there, right? That's like just looking at it from the outside. It's got a brand new paint job. You can't see any dents or anything in it, and you just say, yeah, it's a good car. But don't you got to drive it first? And I don't mean drive it as in a sexual innuendo. I mean, don't you have to actually examine the car, look under the hood? One time I got done wrong. I went and bought this car. It looked good on the outside, so I thought it was going to ride good. And I bought the car, and it was horrible. It was a lemon, okay? And I drove it it didn't last me 30 days. It didn't last me even 30 days. I had not knew about the lemon law, but the car broke down, the motor locked up, and it was before 30 days was up. But by the time I got the car examined and stuff like that, it was after it. So I'm stuck with the car now. And it was just a buy here, pay here type car. But I learned then to never just buy no car just because how it looks or it drove pretty good the first time. You know what I mean? So you got to make sure you have somebody look under the hood. So I had this man at my church. He was a mechanic. He told me, man, next time you buy a car, or anytime from here on out, rather, man, just have me meet you there and I'll look at the car. And that's what I started doing. I didn't know much about cars, but I had him come out there and he would always look under the hood for me and make sure the car was a good vehicle. You know, and sometimes, man, it wasn't. And I'd be mad because I really wanted that car. Like, man, I'm telling you, if you get this car, you're going to regret it. And I'd have to make a grown-up decision and walk away from the car that I actually wanted, right? And when it comes to the aesthetics of the car, and I had to make a decision that was better for me getting back and forth to work. A reliable decision, right? So a man can see a woman that he say, man, yeah, she is a dime piece, right? She's worth marrying. She has all of that. But you don't just stop there and start trying to have sex with her, man. Now you got to walk yourself up to her and measure. Hey, how you doing? My name is and yours? Okay, fantastic. Listen, I would love to keep in touch with you, right? You share with her, I'm looking to date for intent. I'm looking for marriage. I'm looking to create a family. Is that something that you into? She might say, nah, I'm just looking for some fun. Then based on how she looks, she was a winner, right? But based on what she said, was she? Now, what a lot of dudes do is be like, well, I am looking for a wife, but if you looking for some fun, I can go for some fun, right? So you now you put aside what you mainly looking for. Remember, what you focus on expands. If your focus was a wife, don't you fall for that. You selling your birthright. I don't want no family. I don't want to be nobody's husband. I'm with nobody's wife. I don't want to have to listen to no man. I don't want to have to do all of this. But she is bad. She want to have some fun. You're going to go sleep with her anyway. Right? Because that's just how we move as men a lot of times. She might not be the one, but she can be a one, right? And now she got your baby. Wow. The damage has been done. Right? Somebody said, but how many cars do you need? See, and you got to think about this. That's a good question as well. How many cars do you need, family? And I would say if you're just having cars for the sake of having cars, then you're probably going to be burdened with all of the things you have to do for them. But let's say you got a van, okay? That means that's a multi-passenger vehicle. Now you might need a SUV, and you might need a truck as well, right? And they all now have their different uses and different things you can do with them. So now you're more advanced because you have more cars that can do different things, right? So I don't know if you meant that as a euphemism as to, of course, me having 2 wives, and why would I need more than one? Is because I need them both. I don't want them. I need them in my life. Right? Every person should bring something to the table that you can't get anywhere else. So if they're in your life, there must be a sufficient need for that person or desire for that person to be there, right? And there got to be a goal in mind for them. So guys, poly relationships all work together, and they work in unison just like your monogamous relationship, but it's more people, which means it's more people to get resources. That's why we tribed up back in the day. The more hands, the better, right? When it's about survival, the more people, the better. And that's why we would recreate. That's why we would have as many children as possible, because they're going to be hands, right? They're going to be hands to help you plow, to help you in your garden. You got to imagine keeping up all these things without the machinery and the stuff we have now. It'd be extremely difficult. Just imagine this, ladies. Right now, you have chores, and many of y'all don't like to do them. But you got a washing machine, you got a dishwasher, you got access to running water. It just come right out of your spigot as soon as you turn the top. It's just easy for you, right? But let's take that away. Go back to washing boards. Go back to washing clothing out at the watering hole. Go back to even be able to have the water. You got to go down there and get it and walk back up with it, right? Just think about that. Think about not having any washing machine, no vacuum, no dishwasher. These things make your job easier. But if you think about this, to be able to access wealth is still the same. So your job was exponentially harder. So having a partner to help you do that work would be great, right? For men, if you got to go out here and hunt all day just to catch something for food, having more men out there helping you was great. So you had your sons go with you, right? You had other tribal members that would help you go hunt. Yeah, that one kill might feed multiple households, but you would split it because y'all went together. And you can go out there and hope to catch a whole deer on your own, or you can go out there with 2 people and say, hey, we'll split it and we'll double our chances, right? What's it going to be? That's why lions work together. See, animals, they live in the same domain we live in, and they have to figure it out and adapt too. We should have to do the same thing. We're just looking at the world saying, how do families go? And we're listening to what people are saying, and we're just copying them. But if you take away everything we've been taught and programmed in this small little echo chamber we live in, and we all had to survive in nature, I guarantee you, by instinct, we pick up more processes of a tribe, because we would know we need each other. We say, let's hunt together because our chances are better. All of a sudden, there's unity now. But I don't say, hey, man, let's all get up and go to the grocery store. I ain't never thought about no shit like that. There's no need. There's no need, family. But what I'm saying to you, because they made it comfortable for us, we thought we forgot about the concepts that we should have never forgot about. We should have always stayed united. And then we wouldn't have never needed a grocery store. So we think it's great that we got them, but I'm telling you, we should have never needed them. If we were truly sufficient, we'd all have a grocery store in our backyard. We'd all be growing our own food and hunting, family. Now, as a family, you might say, as a family, a person with a house, you might say, growing my own food, going out and hunting, that's a lot for me and my family. It's just me and my wife and a couple kids. Absolutely. But if you lived in a community, a neighborhood with you and your family, your brothers and sisters and siblings had a house beside each other, everybody was on the same land, all of y'all working together to get this. Now, all of y'all, all the men in the family going fishing, all the men in the family taking time out to go hunt. Maybe you start, I'm telling you, man. People say, I'm just telling you, people say I'm old school, but I just look at things that's going to be more sufficient for the family long term. You know what I mean? And for us and our true freedom, right? Someone asked me what was a modern home. A modern home is, the way we live life now, husband, wife, children, right? And then, of course, a single parent home is where it's just a mother or father, not both. And I venture to say they're both broken homes. And I'll tell you a little bit about that why later. Let's go ahead and continue, though. Children, house, dog, career, right? Okay, what do you think of when you hear the word tribe? Is it multiple people from working together for survival, doing whatever they can, finding different roles to commit to in order to keep the tribe going, right? Could you imagine being in a tribe and saying, I don't care if you don't like my wife. I don't care if my children don't like my wife. One day they're going to grow up and leave. Actually, they won't. They will forever be part of your survival because you're in a tribe, and tribes do not separate. Families are often like an island. Okay. And this is why I believe that it leads to a broken home ultimately. Whenever you say, I'm going to cling to my wife and focus on that relationship and make sure she's happy, because those children may one day get up and leave. Family, you are forsaking your children and your village around them. What if I told you it is important that your village likes your wife? It's also important that your children like your wife. I'm going to explain why. I'll give you something. Family harmony. Okay. Why your tribe or family should like your wife. A positive relationship between your spouse and your family can lead to greater harmony within the family. Family gatherings and events can be more enjoyable and less stressful when everyone gets along. Emotional support. When your family likes your spouse, it often means that there is an additional source of emotional support for you. They are more likely to embrace your partner during challenging times. Social connection. A good relationship between your spouse and your family can enhance social connections. Your spouse can feel more comfortable and accepted within your extended social tribe or social circle. Integration. It promotes the integration of your spouse into your family life, making it easier for them to become an integral part of your family's events, traditions, and celebrations. Future planning. If your family likes your spouse, they are more likely to support your decisions such as marriage, starting a family, or other significant life choices. This can make future planning more smoother. Number 6, reduced conflict. When there is a mutual respect and liking between your family and your spouse, it reduces the chances of conflict and tension within the family, which can negatively impact your relationship. All right. So it is important for your family to love your spouse, to like your spouse. It's also essential to remember that the most crucial factor of this quality is your relationship with your spouse. So your happiness and your strength of your partnership should be a top priority. And open communication with your family can help address any concerns or issues that may arise. Now, here's why it's important that your children like your spouse. Now, let's just say they have a stepmom or stepfather, and you're saying this. I don't care that they don't like them, because one day they'll move out. Consider this. If they do like them, here are the benefits. Family cohesion. When children have a positive relationship with their stepmother, stepfather, they can contribute to a more cohesive, harmonious family environment. This benefits their emotional well-being and overall family dynamics. Now, emotional well-being. A strong bond with their stepmother can provide, or stepfather can provide, emotional support and stability for the children, particularly in blended families where they might be adjusting to new family dynamics. Role model. Okay, a stepmother or stepfather who is liked by the children can serve as a positive role model, imparting values, guidance, and support as they grow and develop. Reduced conflict. Positive relationships between children and stepfathers, stepmothers can help reduce conflict and tension within the family, leading to a more peaceful and nurturing environment. Parental unity. When the children like their stepmother, stepfather, it can strengthen their sense of unity and cooperation between both biological parents and the stepmother. This benefits co-parenting efforts and family decision making. 6, a well-rounded upbringing. A stepmother who is liked by her children, stepfather is liked by the children, can contribute to their well-being, to their well-rounded upbringing by providing different perspectives, experiences, and opportunities for personal growth. Now, again, I've talked to you guys about starting a family versus a tribe, and I often say to you guys, our modern families are equivalent to a broken home because we raise our children up simply to move out. We do not raise our children up with the understanding that their mission is to further the family line. But if you raise them up in a tribe, never separating from your ancestors, staying close to them, raising your children in that real village, because we say it takes a village to raise a child, but we raise our children in neighborhoods. Neighborhoods consist of all these houses, and each house have their own mindset, their own culture and way of doing things, their own religions, their own criteria, their own morals. If you were more like a village, every person in that area thinks the same. This means that your children are less likely to be peer pressured into some crazy thought that ruins their life. Does that make sense, family? Does that make sense? You have your children in your home, your next door neighbors have their children, and y'all think differently. And that's just the person who lives directly beside you. By the time you get to the school, it's all different children with all different ways of thinking from their family. Now, that is not a culture. That is just individual teaching based on where you live, based on the house you grew up in. I just call that, just your product of your individual environment in that case, right? But where you do have culture is where everybody is working together in a thought, right? In an action. That's where you have culture. So when all your children get to school, when you're telling your children, keep yourself, don't be out here being loose. Focus on your books, focus on life, build that relationship later, right? You're not grown. Don't be living like it. You try to tell your child this, right? You don't understand how sex is and the impact of it. You're sitting here, you're a child, and you're not ready to be playing with something like that, right? They don't understand. You're telling them this though at home. I don't think I know any parent saying, yeah, go out here and get as much as you can, right? So, but when they get to these schools, the culture is get as much as you can. Do it as a rites of passage to be considered mature, right? It's just a different walk of life. And so now they got to compete against peer pressure and the thinking in school, and that can literally contaminate your child. So what they have in school is a culture. What you have at home is just a teaching. Do you understand? And now your child got to go to school and fight through all of that. Most of the time they fail because they're not even really raised with the strength to be able to deal with peer pressure and going against the grain. You understand? We still do it now. We don't wear white after Labor Day for some sick reason because we think that we'll be picked at or we told not to. So our children do the same thing. They get told how life should look, and they get just pretty much told how life should look, and they buy into what's happening in front of them instead of thinking about it. Does it make sense? So what we should want is a culture within our tribe, within our family, because your family is what you're trying to get into the future. So if you as a family should have a culture where all of y'all think the same, and in order to do that, y'all got to live together and y'all got to educate each other. So the educational system is not something we should depend on either. Do you understand? We should be teachers inside of our own homes. So I would say children should be mostly homeschooled. I'm just saying. You might be like, well, they're not going to be social. Yeah, they got a tribe all around them. They'll learn the skills to meet a woman and go off and build their family. How social you want them to be? You just want your kid to be able to carry a conversation at the local bar? What does that do for them? I'm arguing with myself. Y'all know y'all even made that point. I just know when I go back and look at stuff, y'all be in the comments saying stuff like that. So I'm just trying to think ahead of y'all so I ain't got to come back with a response. You're your child's first teacher. Absolutely, Anonymous. There you go. Absolutely. You are your child's first teacher. And ultimately the last, right? Hopefully you guys are getting this. Hopefully y'all understanding this. As men, we got to rethink how we live in life. All right. So when I said the modern family is a broken home, though, right? And the traditional family is a broken home. Now let's talk about it. All right. So you're going to have a child. You're going to raise your child up, and you're going to give them everything that you can to make sure that they live their life most successful. At least I hope that's what we're doing as parents, right? So that means you're going to have to sacrifice. That means you're going to have to put them first, not get you certain things, not spend however you'd like to, but you got to actually be strategic in your spending, right? Because you got children to take care of. You got to put a roof over their head. You got to spend your life protecting theirs, right? As a man, that's what we got to do. And in some cases, as a mother, that's what you have to do, right? Now think about this. The older you get, the less family you have. Those children will grow up and leave. And then when you get too old to take care of yourself, because life is about stages, and one day you will be too old to take care of yourself if you're fortunate, okay? Life happens to us all, family. When that happens and you need to live with your children, what are they going to say? Did you raise them to understand that's how it goes? That's how life looks as a tribe? Who you think takes care of the elders? The tribe. You don't send them to some home. So just think about how in families, older people, our elders, they have very little value. They're more looked at as a burden. But I'm telling you, your older ancestors are wisdom. They're the ones who share those beautiful stories with your child and have that long-lasting impact on your child, keeping them on the straight and narrow. They're the ones with worlds of knowledge that can show you how to do things way easier. It can bring the past into the future with how they did things. They're the ones that can give you perspective, family. But what we're doing is we're raising our children without those elders in it. We think they stink and smell like mothballs. So now you're older, you're on the outside looking in at your family like it's some damn Home Alone movie, and Ghost of Christmas Past is taking you back to look at your family and don't care about you no more. And that begins to be what life looks like. A grown man who raised his own children. And I've asked family, homeless man on the side of the road. Do you have a family? And they do. Most of them have children. Now, I don't care. I'm not saying I don't care, but what I'm going to say is it's not really relevant how they treated the mothers of those children. If they had been there for their child, teaching their child the importance of the passing of the baton, that when I get old, you got to be there for me too. Not just me being there for when you little. I'm not just building a family so I can take care of it. I'm building a family so we can take care of me too. It's a yin and yang, yo. We've taken that out. It's like you don't matter to your own family. If you resource your family, the family fail if you fail, and then if you are successful and you get old, then at the end you still don't get a family. It ain't nothing for you to fall back on, and that's nuts. How many of y'all could go to y'all kids right now and say, "Hey, y'all, we struggling right now. I'm gonna need y'all help with rent this month," and your kids not complain? That's my money. I work for that. How many of y'all can go to y'all child right now and say, "Look, I need some help with some of these bills now. You working now?" And they say, "Okay, Mom, I've been waiting for this moment, this opportunity. Okay, Dad, I've been waiting for the opportunity to put my best foot forth into adulthood." Or will they say, "I don't want to give up my money. I don't want to contribute. That's my money. You're taking something from me. You didn't go to that job and work. Why do I have to give my money to you?" Because they have no concept that they live there too. Now, guys, when the lion first learns to hunt, don't they share? This little baby, you've been hunting for this little baby lion. Everybody been hunting to make sure this little baby lion eat. They've been out here practicing. Now it's out here ready to try to get with y'all and get its first kill, right? Now imagine you out here working with it get its first kill, and it's like, "I don't want to share with y'all." Bruh, we eat together, we hunt together. What you talking about? So it's a broken thing. You're literally multiplying by having children, recreating yourself, but you don't have access to them. See, it's 3 versions of me in my home. I got 2 sons and a daughter. My son's taller than me now, bigger than me now. So I can be in 3 places at one time when it comes to lifting up things and doing things that require a man to do. "Hey, son, you take this end, I'll take that end." I used to have to call a friend to help me move some heavy shit. Actually, I could just get out the way and say, "Sons, take this around back for me." And them big old jokers just pick it up and lug it. They can be wherever I need them to be. Do you understand? So imagine you as a hunter and you taking your sons out with you to go hunt. "Son, you stand over there on that hill. You keep your eyes focused over here. Son, you stand over here." Now there's 3 of me out there. Why do I get that? Why are children a blessing? Why are they a blessing? Why should they be a blessing and not a burden? Why shouldn't they be a blessing and not a burden? We say children are blessings, but truly they're burdens in the way that we raise them, because they do not ever go out and help you hunt. You just hunting for them. They grown as hell, still staying at home, just waiting for you to bring back some food. I call it baby bird syndrome. Yeah, I made it up. It's baby bird syndrome. We are still feeding our children, and they're grown like they're baby birds in a nest. They got their mouth open. All they got to do is go to the fridge, and it's right there. Do you understand? So now your child is not prepared to actually be a hunter, to actually be a resourceful person. That means we've spoiled them. Does that make sense? So when your child is grown enough to actually go out and help with the family, you're giving them allowances. They coming to you, "Dad, can I have my monthly allowance that you're just supposed to give me without working for? Can I have that?" And we're just enabling our children. Here you go, here you go, here you go, here you go. They have no concept of contribution to the tribe. So when you get old, and even if you have an inheritance, you say you don't need them for nothing, you got all of it mapped out, you're good. Okay, so when you pass on, all this extra inheritance, you're gonna leave it to them, right? The people who don't understand that they have to contribute, the people who wouldn't even let you live with them, what they gonna do with it, yo? They're gonna spend it on themselves, right? And is it inheritance to spend on yourself, or is it to further the family? It's to further the family, right? If you passing your inheritance to a grown child, they shouldn't use it to pay their bills off. They're grown. They shouldn't even, if you raise them right, they got that shit together. It should be saved up for their children's children, yo. Like, and each person is doing this to the point to where we're wealthy now. Why is it all on you to make your family wealthy? Why didn't your mom and daddy help with that? Why didn't their grandparents help with that? Many of us say, "Man, we was born with nothing, no silver spoon, no nothing." We wasn't born with no inheritance. Many of us are not getting anything when our parents pass on, or we didn't get anything when they did pass on. So it's all on you to start from scratch. We got to stop doing that. We got to be able to pass our children something so they're not starting from the back end, starting from the beginning, you know? And our punishment for that is we don't get a family in the end. If we forsake that and we don't teach our children the value of actual tribe itself, and we just tell them life is about them, go chase your career, live your life, then in the end, you lose your family. And you guys say this like like it should be the norm. Your kids gonna grow up and leave. I mean, y'all say that like it should be the norm. They should grow up but not leave, as in leave the city, leave the town. What if you own land big enough that your children never had to leave? They just build a house on the land. That's what tribing up is. What's the importance that they got to be way over there? Now y'all own the same land, family. So most of us, man, when we grow up, when we raise our children up, our children go out and pay somebody else rent, pay somebody else living expenses, buy a home from somebody else. Why they not buying the home from you, buying the land from you? What if we thought like that? When a man thinks about building a family, he first goes and finds land. He finds good ground. He finds a good woman, and he finds good land. Imagine going to a woman back in tribal days and be like, "Hey, I want to be with you. I choose you. I want to have children with you." And she's gonna say, "Where are we gonna stay? Where are we gonna live?" He got to have access to some resources, or it would be a bad move. That's even like now, the very little understanding for how life should look. A lot of men judge women because women choose men differently than men choose women. For example, men choose who they want. Women have to choose the best option. And what we do is we judge women for doing that. And we say, well, she's not really into it because she won't even choose the guy that she likes the most. She just chooses the best option. Where men, because they are the resources, they can just walk up and, you like a woman, you walk up to her, you ask her out. But what women have to do is they can't just take the guy they like, right? They got to think about it. How much money do he make, right? And people say, women ain't really real because look at how they do. But yo, that's a privilege for men to be able to just choose. And it costs you as well because now you got to put up the bread. You're the utilitarian. So yeah, you're going to foot the bill. But on the other end, don't you see how a woman has to choose? She has to choose. She can't just walk up to any old man and just choose him. The problem is when the world teaches her to make resources a priority, there's nothing wrong with her choosing the best option for her. It's just important that she likes him. Now, I say women have veered off when they're choosing the best option, regardless of if she likes him. That's the broken thing because she don't like that man. And so even though you get the resources, you're still going to be unhappy and miserable and likely uncooperative and unsupportive because you don't really like him. There's no real inspiration from within to serve this man, to speak life into this man. You don't love him. You ain't feeling him. You're not attracted to him. Man, you're just trying to make something work. And to me, that's crazy. So it's something wrong with that. Okay. So she shouldn't just take any old guy because he's attractive and she likes him. Because if you don't have the utility, if he's lazy, if he don't have the commitment that he needs to be a husband, if he don't have the discipline to be a father, if he don't embody the principles of a good patriarch, it shouldn't matter if she likes him. She should move around. Fellas, you should move around if you don't, if even if you like her, if she got bad principles. So I'll say this to ladies. Start by choosing a man that you are attracted to, that you do like. Okay. Now, if you don't, I'll put it like this, okay. I think you're safer with a guy who's making okay bread that you really like than you are with a millionaire who you don't like at all. I'm just saying. The reason is, man, when you get with the guy that you can build with, he's going to see your value more because you was with him before he had it all. And if you really like him, you'll probably nurture him the right way, which will bring the best out of him. I've seen men become way better men because they're inspired to do something great for a woman they love. A woman's beauty to a man it inspires him. When a man is captivated by a woman, he wants to give her the world. That's why he should be with a woman that he's truly attracted to, that he truly is inspired by, because it makes him a better man. Likewise, a woman should be with somebody that truly inspires her, that she truly can look up to, that she truly can follow. And don't stop until you get there, till you find him. Now, he may not make the bread, though. So that means you're going to nurture him until he does. Have faith in him. Have good faith in him. Believe in him and speak what you see into him, that he is going to be wealthy one day. And one day, all this is going to work out. And his effort should already be showing that. But that's what it should be about. You should see his efforts and say, I believe he's going to be a good man. Because truthfully, you should find him young. When you're young, I mean, ladies, the sooner the better. So find you a man that embodies all those principles. And if he ain't got all the bread, that's what you're there for. You're there to come along and be his helpmeet so he can focus more of his attention to being the utilitarian. And you're going to nurture the best out of him. I don't know if that makes sense to y'all. If you choose a guy that just has the money, he's not really going to prioritize you or see your value. He already had the bread before you came along. So now he mainly just questions you and doubts you. You ask any successful man, he'll tell you, my life is surrounded by women trying to get with me. But I just wonder if they really like me. I don't want them to get with me and try to just take what I have. So now he more so looks at you with the evil eye. He's actually watching you. But if you get with a man before he has all that stuff, he knows you've been there from the beginning. Oh, he will value you. He will value you. I promise you. Your word will mean something to him. But ain't no wealthy man. Your word ain't about to mean nothing to him. I'm just telling you, he's seen too many of you. And a lot of times he's had so many women that even your beauty is not going to wow him. But to that guy that's telling you, oh my God, you can see heart eyes. I'm telling you, if you can see the love in that man's eyes for you, ladies, that's an indicator that he will go all out for you. A lot of you guys turn down a man when he fall madly in love with you. You call him a bugaboo and you don't like that. Y'all like somebody y'all almost got to chase. And if you got to chase him, you don't inspire him. I'm telling you now, ain't no man can tell me when he saw the woman that did it for him that he didn't chase. He will do that. If he feeling you, he going to go out of his way to try and get with you. If y'all chasing the man, I'm telling you, that's not going to be a relationship that works. You don't inspire him, love. I'm serious. Your beauty and your flow, your softness, your femininity should inspire that man to be after you. Does that make sense? And when you see the love and the consistency that he puts forth through that feeling, that inspiration he has for you, that gives you indication that man really loved me. That man really wants me. So how do you know if a man cares about you, ladies? His effort, not his words. I'm telling you now, he can come with some good game, but his effort is what shows it. Men are about action. That's why I keep saying that. His effort will show it because you inspire him from within and that'll look like something. If y'all around some dude and he just kind of like careless about you, he don't care. He ain't really showed no energy towards you at all. You ask him, where you see us in 5 years? I don't know, man. Why you asking questions like that? I just believe in going with the flow. I just believe in living in the moment, being in the magic of it all. Red flag. Red flag, family. Red flag. Hopefully y'all can see how that's a red flag. I'm hoping you can see it. If he says like, I'm hoping to be married within a year or two, I hope to have children shortly after that. You know, I am traditional. I do believe that the man takes care of his spouse, but I do believe that the wife supports her husband. You know, so I would want to give you a soft life, not a soft life meaning you do nothing, but a life where you don't have to be masculine, right? You don't have to worry about who's going to pay the bills or how this bill and that bill going to get paid. I want you to truly be able to focus on being creative so you can work with this child, right? Work with them on their arts and crafts. Be very creative with how you teach them, right? How you love on them. I want you to be in a position where you can nurture and be at your best capacity for nurturing. But I need to know that you're willing to do that. If you're the type of woman that says, life ain't all about me being in the kitchen, which I agree it's not, but I want you to know the power of the kitchen. That is the medicine, yo. That's the doctor of the house. Did you know you can keep the whole house healthy, mentally, physically, and spiritually with that kitchen? Do you know they likely won't need to go to the hospital for medicines if you cooking the right foods? Why you don't want that job? That's a superpower. That's like him saying, I love you and all, but I just don't think the man should have to be paying bills all the time. I think men are more than just working. I think they're more than just labor and having jobs. That's an indication that that man is lazy. Because if you figure life out, you know you can't get by without working. And you sounding crazy for trying to, especially as a damn man. You got to work, bro. You got to get it. In order for you to, if a man don't work, he don't eat. I mean, we know this. The benefit to herbivores is that their food just grows. It don't run from them. They could just go eat. Okay? Now, one of the problems with being an herbivore is they can't eat with their eyes closed. They can't even take a sip of water without looking around. Okay, it's danger when they go to eat. But if you're a person and you eat meat, you know you got to work to eat. Every carnivore in the world got to chase his food down. And the faster you run, the faster it run from you. It never get easy. You always got to prove yourself. That's how I look at us as men. We are hunters, man. We always got to prove ourselves. The better you get, That don't mean that what you hunting slows down for you. Oh, that's the best hunt in the world. Let me not even try. I know I ain't gonna get away anyway. No. No, man. That's like if I know that something's after me, I'm gonna run a lot faster from a lion than I would a dog. I mean, I'm gonna run fast from a dog, but a lion, I bet money I'm a little bit faster. Now I ain't saying both won't catch me. I'm just saying I was moving faster with that damn lion. Right? So the better the hunter you are, the faster your prey is gonna run. So you always have to prove yourself. Right? That's how you eat, is by proving yourself. You conquering the kill, you conquering the hunt is proof. It's not words that validate you, man. Don't look for words to validate you. Look for success. Okay? Look for what comes from the effort that you put in. Right? So if you plant a seed, you're not waiting for somebody to tell you did a good job. You're waiting for the seed to grow. You're waiting for the fruit to harvest. That's what tells you did a good job. So men shouldn't live in that emotional stimulation that comes from people praising you. Right? That's a whole nother chapter. We'll deal with that another time. That's from a concept I'm working on right now called Man Frame. I'm working on that, family. I'm gonna bring that to y'all soon. Many people got questions about that, but I'm gonna continue on real quick. Let's go. So let's say you raise your children to be pure, to look at intimacy as something that leads to family, not just something that is for your own desire or feel good. But when they go to school, this is where you see how communal thoughts go together, right? How you see all these different people and they gave you life. Your mother and father gave you life. So what do you owe them? You owe them to further. You would know as a tribal member, as a member of your family, you owe your family first. They gave you life. Your mother and father gave you life. So what do you owe them? You owe them to further the family line, to take those concepts that are good in your family and further those, rewrite and correct the ones that are broken cycles. Okay. And all right, my bad. I can see the video is coming to an end. But here are the things that a man owes his tribe: to increase the family's chances of survival, meaning he becomes a mighty hunter and a contributor to that family. Now, to that tribe. If it were a family, you raise your kids to simply move out and their resources are used for them and their new family. None of those resources would go to the actual tribe that created him, right? So because of that, we don't really focus a lot of energy on our children being resourceful while they're in the home. You know, that makes sense, family? Does that make sense? If you're a tribe instead of a family, your number one rule is that you increase the family's chances of survival, right? So you will contribute in whatever way that you can or will to that tribe, whether you're a hunter, whether you are a gatherer, whether you are a shaman, a elder, whatever you're doing, your goal is to help increase the survival of that tribe, either in concept, in theory, in philosophy, or in food, right? Whatever the case may be, protection. But each person is dedicated to the survival of that family, right? All right, the next one is what? So I said, increasing survival. The next one is enlarging your family's territory, right? Going further than your family went, breaking cycles that need to be broken, right? Teaching concepts better, or continuing concepts that were righteous. That's our job as a family, as a tribal member, right? Now, if you're just talking about a family, like I said, families, when your children get up and move out, their resources go to taking care of that family that's their new family. It does not stay within your tribe because they don't live on your land. Do you understand how now their hunt does nothing for you, even though you raised them? But if they stay all on your land, now their hunt does something for everybody involved, and you never stop. That's why I say our goal as the Rise Tribe is to have our own city, our own land where all of us live together. I don't want my children moving across the city and town. I want enough land so my children can all live on that land, and who they marry can live on that land. My grandchildren will live on that land, and we'll all work together to make sure that land has fruit trees, gardens, a place to fish, all this to be able to survive just in case all these grocery stores and stuff shut down. So we can be self-sufficient, family. You understand? And that's going to take some time, years, decades. But a man dedicates his life to that, right? So that's why I say a man first. If you know when you're young that you want a family, that's going to look like a lifetime endeavor. And careful thought got to go into that. So what your most important decision, she won't be your priority once you start the family. The main priority, your children will, but the most important decision to start in your family is the ground. Your wife, your woman, ladies, your husband is the most important, the most integral part of that family as far as a decision in the beginning. It's who you choose, family. So if you want a great family, it start with choosing somebody great. So that's the part where we getting frivolous at. We're just moving by the seat of our damn pants, literally. That term never mean that literally, but when I said it literally, that shit hit. I ain't even gonna lie. We just out here moving by the seat of our damn pants. You know what I mean, right? Turned on by the what's in your damn crotch. Okay? Yeah. Or the lap of your pants. Just flying by the lap of your pants or the seat of your pants. Let's be real. And if you're doing that, family, those decisions are not going to be good for your overall family. The decisions and your decisions are what shape your life, not your outlook on life. Your decisions are what shape your life. So regardless of what religion you believe in, regardless of what you think about karma, regardless of what you think about any concept that seems to tell you about life and the decisions of life, I'm going to tell you that consequences are the ultimate thing you need to be focused on. And to control consequences, you have to control your actions, right? So the person who gets the farthest in life, who has the best life, is the one who's most aware. What do you mean, Kevin? The one who's most focused on what they want, who don't lose focus with that. So when you run off to the club to hang out with your friends, you're not thinking about your family at that moment. You're not thinking about 10 years from now what your family's going to look like. When you land with that person that you just met because you like how they look, you're not seeing your grandchildren years from down the road. So that means you're not that focused. You're not that aware. But the more you are aware, the more things are in your field of sight, right? Or understanding, right? So the more staying the most aware that you can be and considering every decision that you make before you make it, this will yield the healthiest life possible. So today, if we were to start a game and say, let's see who can, go the furthest in life. The way we would do this, family, is we'd have to focus on our own lives, not each other, and think about the decisions that you make before you make them. And I mean, when I say think about them, I mean look down the road and say, if I did this right here, what could happen from this? And when you think about that, family, you're measuring. This is you saying, okay, I'm taking a structure to my life instead of just moving by the seat of my pants. You know what I'm saying? And this way you can have the healthiest life possible. You know how they say, when I became a man, I put away childish things. You can't think like a child while you're an adult, or you'll ruin your life. Your life will look really trashy, right? So children pick their friends based on who makes them happy, based on their vibe and how much they have in common and their favorite movies and TV shows. They don't choose their friends based on who's the best for them overall. Now, your parents will. Your parents will be like, I don't like him for you. And here we are. But he's funny. But she's funny, Mom. But we get along, Mom. We both like Chronicles of Narnia, Mom. We both like Battlestar Galactica. We both like Star Wars. We both like anime. Amine. I've been watching Reese lately. I don't know if you heard of him, but that dude crazy. He say Amine. And based on those types of things, we choose a friend, right? Well, in your adulthood, nobody tells you no, right? Your parents gonna say, don't eat that, it's bad for your teeth. Don't eat that, you're gonna ruin your appetite. They're gonna say yeah or no. When you become an adult, nobody tells you yeah or no. You can literally say yeah to everything, and you never have to stop. You can drink yourself under a table to the point where you don't even have a life no more if you want to. If you ever so choose, nobody's gonna tell you no. So you should be willing to supervise yourself a little better, and sometimes say no because of the betterment of you and your life, right? Not just because it might feel good, right? Don't you hate when you say, Mama, can I go to my friend's house? No, and you thinking, why? Sometimes you got to tell you no too. Your friends say, man, you want to hang out this weekend? Sometimes you got to say no. If you don't learn how to tell yourself no and pick friends based on the nature and character of your friends, so you can, build with people who should be built with, right? You're going to keep telling yourself, yeah, end up in a world of trouble. So if you see her, she's cute, yeah. If you see him and you think he fly, yeah. Sometimes y'all need to say, no, I'm going to say no to that, even if you want to, because the dude ain't right or the girl ain't right, and you can see it. Do you understand? So my whole point is, when you're trying to create a family, the person that you choose is that important. Men, if you choose the wrong spouse, she absolutely will not nurture you, and you'll be out here on your own. And I'm telling you, you'll do your part to take care of everything, but she's not going to do hers. And when she doesn't do that, men are often shorter. They lack patience because they don't have wives who really nurture, who really care about their needs. So if a man goes to his wife with a problem, she will deflect and make him feel like he's the problem. They'll argue for days and whatnot, and he never gets what he needs. So now he's shorter with his co-workers. He ain't focused on his dreams. You understand? So who you choose to be your partner is very important to the life that you're going to live. You understand? And ladies, the same thing. Have you ever been single and have your mind focused and everything's good? And here's some dude came and messed it all up, right? You was good. You was doing good. You was focused on your life. Here he come though. Right? Yeah. So, but if you chose a partner who cared about you, right? Who cared about your feelings, who was empathetic to how you felt, right? Who was willing to work with you, who practiced conflict resolution because they understand how emotions can be, right? Wouldn't you say that's the best environment for you to flourish in? So choose the best partner, family, if you want the best outcome at life. It will start to bleed into how you see the world. You can tell a woman when she got a man that don't care about it and don't treat her right. You can tell. So choose your relationships wisely. And I ain't even mentioned the fact that that person that you choose ultimately gets to be your children's mother, right? So if you sit here saying, my hubby better not be listening, you better get better at nurturing Sherry. No, don't be putting him out there like that. I'm working on some stuff right now. I want you guys to think about this. What would men do to directly teach their wives, with an example, their behavior, right? So when wives say, I'm mad at you, I don't want to be intimate with you, I'm mad at you, I'm gonna stop cooking, I'm gonna stop doing my part. What should men do? Men often have no clue because they can't stop paying bills because they got to live somewhere too, right? You can't stop buying food because she got to eat, your kids got to eat. So how can you get her ass back? How can you show her that, hey, you're gonna stop doing your part too? We're gonna call it Toxic Day, Toxic Tuesdays. Today Tuesday at it. I guess that means I can give y'all a couple of concepts. Okay, so say she acting like an asshole at home, right? Just treating you like shit, running you through the mud. When y'all go out, do not open her car doors for her. She can get her own self out the car. It's a car door. It ain't that heavy. She can just get herself out the car. Yeah, walk off and leave her too. Just don't stand there with her and put your arm out for her. Walk off and leave her. Don't yell at her. Don't do it dirty, but just, you know what I'm saying? Don't cooperate. You be uncooperative. If you fall on hard times, don't work no harder than what you're doing. Don't put in no extra work. Don't figure it out. Nah, she wants a man who she can depend on, who's reliable, who when things fall, he stand up. Don't do that. Because when you down, she ain't gonna stand up. She ain't gonna nurture you. You gonna go extra work an extra 2 shifts, and now when you come on, you ain't gonna get no extra nurturing to get you back, and she don't care nothing about that. Man, please. In that way, women will get to say, damn, I don't want no man who always coming up short on the bills. I don't want no man who if I tell him it's an emergency, he won't even try to work harder to cover the emergency because emergencies happen. I don't want that. And men would say, I don't want a wife who don't know how to apologize. I don't want a wife who can't be accountable. I don't want a wife who refuses to nurture and take care of me whenever I'm down. I don't want a wife that when I'm angry, she gets mad at me for being angry instead of diffusing the bomb. I don't want a wife who all she do is keep me when I'm down. As a man, say you upset, you angry, you upset, your wife can see you visibly upset, and what she has to offer is just fussing at you. Not, calm down, baby, I can see you're upset. If your wife felt ugly, you're not doing your job, right? As a man, right? Your wife said, I don't feel like I'm beautiful. I don't feel like that. You be like, you all right. If a man say, I need your encouragement, man, I need to know that you believe in that. I need to know that. If you keep making it sound like you can just do without me, that makes me feel like I'm not really that valuable. And if she don't go, you know what? You're absolutely right. I shouldn't talk to you like that. You absolutely are needed. I value you. She can't do that. If she can't do that and she just go, well, whatever. Yo, that man is going to be on the other side of his relationship saying, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. But the simple things like nurturing, it don't cost her a dime. Now, if she need extra money, y'all need money for the house. It costs you to go get that bread. You can't just come up with it. It don't grow on trees. But if you ask for some love and some intimacy, all of a sudden you wrong, right? If you ask for some love and some sensuality from her, you wrong for that. But if she want to cuddle with you and you don't want to cuddle, you wrong for that too. So she'll shame you if you want sex, right? But she'll also shame you if you don't want to cuddle. I should be able to get to cuddle with my husband, and I should be able to get to make love to my wife. What you talking about? It's a completely natural thing. You're not about to say and act like I'm a pervert because I want to sleep with you, even though we argued a few minutes ago. Well, I don't want to, and I don't want to be a man no more either. Then I'm gonna lay here and be lazy and not go to work tomorrow. Now you have a toxic thing, right? It's this toxic thing now. You're gonna go days without cooking. I'm gonna go for days without buying food. If I gotta go somewhere and buy my food, I ain't putting no more groceries in this house. The refrigerator just be empty. So if you don't cook, this is Toxic Tuesdays. If you don't like to cook, so there'll be no food in the fridge. Jay, what you think of that? Just imagine that. You sit there as a man, right? You coming home from work, right? And you say, babe, why ain't you cook? You've been here all day. I'm not your mama. Oh, you're right. And you ain't my daughter either. So, yeah, let me just not put no food in this fridge. Now she like, I'm here all day with nothing to eat.
Right. Make it make sense.
Make it make sense. You don't like to cook, but you want food in the fridge for who? For you?
Right. Get out.
Total chaos. I don't feel like cooking. Well, I ain't going back to work tomorrow. When you work, you should come home to get something replenished. I work to make money to put food in the fridge. You got access to the food because it's here with you, and you ain't gonna replenish me. So I ain't going to work. I ain't going back to work tomorrow. Well, it hurt both of us. So
Like if it don't benefit her, it ain't worth it.
that's how she looks at it. The modern woman that's in your family, but not really being a family member. They're just being like a child, a burden to the family. They don't want to do their part. And often a man is like at a stalemate where he can't really stop because, I mean, it's dependent upon him. He got family and children in the house. Like, he can't just stop doing what he's doing, but she will. She'll stop cooking for weeks and days and everything. And he just has to, find somewhere else to eat during that time. But she always got a damn roof over her head. She always got the lights on. She always got that. So it's like, yo, how do you get her back?
If you don't do it, then you doing without.
Right. You sitting over here doing without, right?
So I gotta do it.
Right. So if I okay, but they ain't paying the light bill. Now you sitting in the dark.
Right.
So you really can't get her back. That's how you get her back. No food in the damn fridge then. That's how we doing it. Mm-hmm. When she asks you for money, don't say no, say I ain't got it. Then she can't say you're weaponizing the money. I'm broke too. I ain't got it either. You weaponizing the money. You weaponizing sex. No, I'm not. I'm not in the mood. And I'm not in the mood to give you no damn money. What you mean? What you mean? What you talking about? My husband angry because I won't iron his shirts. You won't iron his shirts, love? Iron his shirt. You won't iron his shirt, Sherry? You hurt my feelings with that. Now I'm mad. They ain't got shit to do with me. I'm out of here, man. Look, Kevin ain't got. Look what I got on. I done got out of uniform. Let me take this off so they can see. Let me get out of here and go back here and sit down and think about what you just said back here. Let me turn my camera right here. Let me get over here, right?
Oh, man. This is all toxic.
Let me get over here. Let me go back here and sit down real quick. Y'all come with me. Hang on. Let's see if this thing working. Come on out here with me. Hang on. Yeah, come over here. Hang out. I'm back here now. I don't like what she said. I'm just gonna sit back here for a minute. I was gonna let me play my game for a second. I don't know. I gotta recalibrate.
Oh,
She said she only like ironing the man's shirts.
yeah.
They argue about it. So he's voiced this concern, and she still just leave this man's shirts out there. She look at it and be like, I ain't iron that shit.
So she okay with a man going out there looking crazy?
Right. So hang on.
He's like a representative of you.
I got it. Here we go. All right, we too close now. Hang on. Okay, so I got it, fam. This is what we're gonna do here. Sir, if you see this video, wear that shit anyway. When that shirt wrinkled, put it on when you're going out with her. That's how you get her, okay? She don't want to iron the shirt. Don't you say a word. She'll be with a wrinkled motherfucker. Wear, and she got to stand there with you too. Wear the shirt just like it is. So you'll be a bad representation for your family and people on the outside to know exactly what she's doing on the inside. Because wives love to fake like they're really feminine and soft when they meet your friends and stuff. Hey, I'm this and I'm that. Y'all just got finished arguing. You ain't even on speaking terms with your damn husband, but you want to talk to his damn friends like you nice. You ain't nice. He should tell on your ass. Bruh, trust me, she ain't what she appeared to be. She trying to lie to you, bro. She is not nice. I told this woman I needed a cup of water. She told me to get it my damn self. No, don't be over talking to my friends now. Now she want to get drinks for everybody. Y'all need anything? You good? Y'all need anything? Because she want to act like she good. No. I'm not fronting for you. So from here on out, we're gonna know if y'all watch my content. If your wife acting up and not giving you the love you need, don't open no doors or nothing. We'll know who y'all are when we see y'all out here. I'm talking about walk straight through the door. Y'all better, if y'all going to Walmart, y'all got the doors open automatically. Avoid places like that. let me get this camera out my face. Look, avoid places like that, family. Go to places that require you to pull the doors open, them big ass heavy doors, okay? And be ahead of her too. Make sure, because so she got to get herself out the car. That means you could take off walking first. And she'll hate that shit, having to catch up with you and shit. Go on through the door too. That big ass door, just open it. Let it close. You in there, you in the store already. She got to open it herself, looking crazy. Don't help her put no groceries in the car, nothing. She's standing out there just looking crazy. I'm just kidding. You can't do that. You got to help with that.
Nobody
get rid of the iron.
Get rid of the iron.
See, women good at being toxic. See, they know how to outdo you, bro. They know how to Sir, get rid of the whole iron and the dryer, because they love the dryer, don't they? They love to keep using all that extra ass heat just to heat oh my God, they don't put creases in them, y'all. Quit being lazy. Just take the dryer out, okay? They just go to the laundromat. Go to the laundromat, okay? If they have to hang them as soon as they come out the dryer, okay? But they're not going, no dryers in the house, okay? Take the irons out, the dryers out the house, no steamers, no nothing. So she wrinkled too. Both of y'all be wrinkled together. Y'all be one balled up ass family. Look like somebody run y'all out. We all gonna look bad as a unit. You're not about to sit here and be having me carry the whole load and you back here being toxic. We all gonna be toxic together. We all gonna look like toxicity. Because they love to fake it, yo. No, man, no. You doing your part, or else, man. You're doing your part. It seems funny to us, but so many people live like these situations. They do. I used to always wonder, like, because I'm a chivalrous person, so I'm gonna open the door, all of that, right? And I see men that don't do it at all, right? And they don't care about holding the door for their wife at all. They're not anything like loving like that with their wives, right? I think that's why. I think it's because when she home, I think it's because he said finally fuck it. I swear, because a man loving on his wife, a wife who really feminine for a husband, why would he do her like that? To me, it's somebody who then told him a bunch of times she don't need him, she better off without him, she can survive on her own, and he feel like I ain't got no value. So why the hell he like comes unglued? And I think it's like a self-preservation tactic, because a man it hurts a man to know that he's ultimately contributing to a family that he don't have no value in. So he may just unplug. Right. I'm telling you, man, it's crazy. He's a cheapskate. The dryer is hydro. I've been hanging the clothes for years. Well, you hanging them? Why ain't they straight then if you hanging them? And why you on here telling this business? Don't be telling us you know cheapskate. Don't be on here telling this business, Sherry. You do need to do better. He gonna come on here and tell your dang business too. You a cheapskate. Don't stop that. The Bernice gonna say I'm toxic. I ain't toxic. I'm just telling y'all how to be. I'm just telling y'all some new ways to be toxic. Because she'll have an example of it. Baby, the car broke down, fix the car. But I don't know how to fix cars. And I don't know how to fuck myself. That's what you told me to do the other day when I asked you. Ashley, the quick as hell. I'm just playing, man. is so crazy, bro. That is so crazy, man. Listen, y'all, we're going to continue to build on this subject. I was trying to get this over with in 45 minutes. I got to work on that. I got to work on not, stopping the pauses, whatever I'm doing, and not be able to get done in time. Because the video itself is like 19 minutes. I should have been able to go through that video in time, but we're working it out. This is just a test session. I just wanted to go live right now because I got my internet stuff worked on. I wanted to see how it looked, so I'm gonna start ending my lives when I have these normal builds like this, by asking y'all what type of drink would you like. What I'll typically do is go over here to my spot like this. I end the live off by going back here to the spot, and I'll let y'all join me too. I like that. I like that type of stuff, right? Then I'll come back here and I'll open the joint up. And I'll start with like a little drink like this. I don't know what y'all drink on though. But I just hop up here. I'll go with some Don Julio today. We just got to have a toast because there's some great things happening right now in my life. And ultimately in our lives, family. Let's bring it back in. You'll see. I got used to working this camera though. Man, bag back. It worked. It's good. So we're gonna have some Don Julio, man, today. It's the sponsor for this live. Okay. Thanks, Don Julio, for sending this bottle just specifically for this live. I'm just gonna do a little dash because it's early, y'all. This though is to a successful month. Okay. I don't know if you guys saw the Cheesecake Factory interview that I landed with Jay and Alicia, but that is doing wonders. Jay asked me to be his counselor. I have a whole documentary where I've now hired a film crew to come along as I try to teach him how to find a good woman through learning the red flags and becoming a better man. Just be a better man, family, so you can get the most out of your spouse. Okay, women tend to do more for a man they really, really respect and admire. So I'm going to teach him how to become that man to the best of my ability. And man, we're going to learn together. We're going to grow together. We're going to talk about dating and the things that all of us go through, not just men, but all of us. All right. And so we're going to have a good time. All right. Here's to great things going forward, family. Little sip. Whew. I don't drink like that. But stay tuned. Okay, I'm gonna be posting more content on that this week, next week, and the following weeks. We've done a lot of work. This weekend was crazy. So I had to hire a couple of editors just to try to make sure we get it all done and put out while the iron is hot. So just stick with us, family. We're gonna get the content brought to you, and we'll all be able to examine it and hopefully learn a lot about dating in our modern world. Remember, this ain't to shame anybody. I work well with both of them. If you saw the interview, I didn't try to demonize any one of them. My goal is that we all live a happy life. I'm not sitting up here trying to speak just for men. I'm trying to speak for women too. I have a daughter out here in this world, yo. So I think that when we take sides like that, we're forgetting about our aunts, our uncles, our grandfathers, grandmothers, children, daughters, sons. If a woman who's sitting here trying to fight for the world can look like how women want it to look, is forgetting about all the men in her family. And likewise, so let's not be people who do that. Let's look for harmonic ways to live our lives, family. So stay tuned, family, and thank y'all for tuning in today. All right, share this content. Let everybody know to stay tuned for more the Cheesecake Factory content. Peace, family. Oh, and watch my show. Go watch all of my shows. I'm going to update them all with the title From the Source's Mouth. That's what I'm going to call my show. So I'm going to update them all, but I have a few episodes that's out already, guys. So go check out those episodes, man, and let me know what y'all thinking. All right. Peace.